So my name's Blaze Young. I'm the Executive Chef at Foxtrot Hospitality. I look after the kitchens at New Ruin, Edward and Ida's and Foxtrot Unicorn. I think mental health is one of the most important things for hospitality in terms of getting our young people that are stepping into the industry to choose this as a really viable long-term career path. I think it's super important in terms of having a long and successful career. Hospitality workers are certainly under a lot of pressure. I think one of the hardest parts is that you are faced with very long hours, and it's also a really hard thing to do to find balance between your work life and your personal life. I think, I always say that we work opposite hours to everybody else. We have to be working when everyone else is out having fun. And I guess you need to find a way that you can balance that, with your family, with your partner, with your friends, and not feel like you're kind of sacrificing those things to choose this career. And I also think, every day we're under a huge amount of pressure, and figuring out the best way for you to kind of make sure that you're not living in a state of stress is really important for your health. It's still something that I'm working on all the time. Personally, do you want actual examples of what I do? Yeah. Personally, recently I've gotten super into saunas. So I do sauna and ice bath a few times a week. I've always been an avid follower of mindfulness and meditation. I do a lot of yoga, and all these things kind of help me keep my head level and to stay calm during stressful situations. I just really encourage all of my staff to find that thing that is going to really help them with that stress relief as well, even if it's just going for a walk in the sun in the morning, or something as simple as, taking 10 minutes out of your endless doom scrolling and just giving yourself a bit of time to unwind your mind and relax a little bit. But I think, finding what works for you and trying to stick to it and pull it into your routine is really important. I often say to people, unless you love it, you shouldn't be doing it. But I think for me in particular, I've come to it because I love people and I love the community that you're given in hospitality. I don't want to sound cliche, but build this beautiful group of people and friends around you. And now I'm lucky enough to run our businesses, so we build that team together. You have this great little group of people that greet you every day, that is in your orbit. And then beyond that, we're in hospitality because we love people, we love looking after people, and we kind of get to do that on a huge scale every day, inviting people into your house essentially, and cooking for them and looking after them and making sure they have this beautiful little experience, a moment in time outside of their stressful day. So I think orchestrating all of that has become a real passion for me. And you always get to eat the best things, drink the best things, even just a really beautiful glass of wine on a tired Sunday makes all the difference. So I think, finding the joy in the little things is a big part of it. Honestly, I'm just super excited to jump into the kitchen with some new people. So I think, when you work in your restaurant day in and day out, you work with your little tight team. And especially because being the executive chef, a lot of the creativity comes from me downwards. So I'm just excited to be in the kitchen with some absolute slayers and be learning off them and cooking some things that I wouldn't normally be cooking. So it's a really exciting opportunity to kind of make some new friends and learn some new techniques. For us in our kitchen, because we have a really small team and a lot of the time it is real hustle, we just implemented a little well-being check, which we do throughout the day. So I think something as simple as just checking in with someone and asking, are you all right? Have you had something to eat? Have you got enough water? Have you had a break? Can really make all the difference. And something as simple as just teaching your team to regularly check in with each other and making sure that we're all keeping up together, and do you need help, and is there anything I can do for you, makes a huge difference on one person feeling like they're carrying all of that stress on their own. I think it would just be nice if a customer, I always say we should have a mandatory year of hospitality service. And I think our society would be quite different because, you know, I think often it's looked at as, you know, an easy career path or something that's chosen by people who can't do anything else. But in reality, like, it's an industry that so many creative, passionate people have come to, and I guess like so much work goes into it behind the scenes that you would never know. I think, you know, even a beautiful plate of food, sometimes 3 days of preparation and effort have gone into that plate. And, you know, while it might not be perfect, I think a little bit of compassion for, you know, how much work and how much effort and how much of an expression of one person that plate's going to be would be really nice. And most people are like that, but I think, yeah, I think if everyone had had a year in customer service, they would be a little bit more compassionate. I think probably just reach out if you need to, you know. I think one of my favourite things about being in Perth is that we are such a small community, and more than ever, so many of us know each other and support each other, and I think like the more that we can strengthen that community together, the easier this job's going to be. You know, I think you need to look outside of your own kitchen, and you know, if you're feeling like you're hitting a brick wall or you have an issue, you know, there are people that you can come to and talk it out and seek advice from. And I think I've been so lucky that every step of the way I've had an incredible selection of mentors who are people that I've looked up to and have always been super generous with, you know, their time and their advice. And there are always going to be people who, you know, have faced the same issues that you're facing now, that, you know, have 10 different solutions that you could try. So I think there's always space for help if you ask for it.